Hey there guys, Unofficial Star Wars here, hope you're all doing well, and in today's video we have our episode 8 breakdown for the Bad Batch. It was an amazing episode, so without further ado, let's just get right into it. Of course, as I always mention, there are spoilers to the Bad Batch overall, the entire show, and really especially in episode 8 here of what we're actually talking about. Of course, it's obvious, but of course I always like to throw it out there. So with that out of the way, let's actually get into what the actual episode here had. Of course, it had the reunion, I guess, of seeing Crosshair once again, especially here going against the Bad Batch. Last time we saw him go against the Bad Batch was in the first episode, but from there on we had a few other different kind of scenes here with Crosshair, whether it was him going on other missions to take out other rebel soldiers, as we did see him do that, and then training, actual stormtroopers, I guess, as, clones kind of. And then kind of from there, things kind of went quiet with Crosshair. We didn't really hear too much from him, and we didn't really get to see too much of him or what he was exactly doing. So, of course, my curiosity is going to build up. Where is Crosshair? What is he doing? When are we going to see him again? I was going to, make a video about it. Where's Crosshair? What could he possibly be doing? Kind of like a theory video, but we do know what he's doing now, and he is back in the flesh, back in the game, back in the show, especially here going against the Bad Batch, his fellow brothers. Was really interesting to see, and kind of heartbreaking kind of in a way to see as well. Although I'm going to get to it here in a moment, the interactions that we did see with Crosshair and with the Bad Batch kind of gave us hope in a way that Crosshair wasn't exactly going to die. No one from the Bad Batch was going to die, because it was kind of lighthearted and kind of comedic in a way. So it kind of confirmed, I guess, and gave us hope that nobody's going to hurt, nobody's going to really get died. Although we did get some characters that got kind of hurt, and we're going to get to that really big cameo though at the end of the episode that we saw there. Was absolutely amazing, mind-blowing. I was just screaming, and it was crazy, okay? Of course, as well, I'd love to go more in depth in a separate video about exactly what we saw there at that ending with that awesome cameo of Cad Bane, the one and only bounty hunter. So do be sure you are subscribed to the channel and hit that notification bell so you're notified when that video does come out. Aside from all of that, we do get to see the Bad Batch have kept their way, and they are still on the planet of Braco, where we do see Cal Kestis in Jedi Fallen Order. So there were a lot of theories, predictions here going around if we're going to be seeing Cal here in the upcoming episode. Of course, he'd be like the same age as Omega. I was just thinking about it, and it would kind of be interesting to see Cal, appear in the Bad Batch show, because it would kind of give them like a love interest almost type of thing, kind of like Omega might have a crush on Cal, vice versa, whatever little kids do, I guess. Then again, although we don't completely know all the facts here about Omega, if she does have the accelerated aging as well, that very well could differ as well. Furthermore, here in the episode, we kind of got some confirmations here as well for kind of what the Kaminoans are trying to do with Omega per se, as a lot of theories, predictions, of course, I've made those myself as well here on the channel. Do be sure you check those out as well, of her being a Force-sensitive clone trooper and being used for the quote-unquote Phase 3 clone trooper, which would be a Force-sensitive clone trooper, is what the Kaminoans kind of want her for. It was what it looks like. And of course, it was really awesome to as well see, actual Kamino to as well reappearing in the show, kind of see the current state of Kamino, what the clones are doing over there. There's also been a lot of theories and predictions I've heard as well if there's going to be a clone uprising here. I do have a theory video about that here on the channel, so do be sure you check that one out as well. Now, one thing I kind of didn't really completely understand about this episode, and per se really the previous episode as well, we did get to see the return of Captain Rex here, and I do have a whole, idea here and kind of what I kind of wished happened there in that previous episode with Wrecker and Captain Rex there. Of course, I'm going to cover that one in a separate video as well, so to be sure you are subscribed to the channel and hit that notification bell so you don't miss that video as well. I know I keep saying that quite a bit, but a pretty big thing I just completely didn't really understand all that much is why the Bad Batch decided to stay on Braco, especially with Omega. It seems like, Hunter's still holding that kind of, I guess, per se, dad persona and personality of wanting to protect her in all possible ways he can. So why would you want to stay on a planet here that's kind of not very safe, and it has scavengers? Of course, there's less safer places in the galaxy and in the universe here, but there's also more dangerous places that they could possibly be as well. So I'm not exactly sure why they didn't take the chance here to go with Captain Rex, to go and leave with, somewhere safer kind of per se. I don't know why they would have to stay a whole extra episode here for staying behind and kind of looting the cruiser per se, I guess. I don't completely understand the whole science behind that whole idea. Nonetheless, however, it led to some really action-packed, awesome scenes here with Cad Bane and Crosshair as well. Crosshair here, his whole plan here with trying to bring on the engines to kind of burn the Bad Batch out kind of shows, his hatred towards them. It's kind of like Anakin Skywalker we saw in Revenge of the Sith. He just has pure hatred for the Jedi, I guess, at this point, and there's no turning back. He's just completely clouded at this point by the inhibitor chip, much like Anakin was completely clouded here by the dark side Insidious. Now, something really interesting we got to see here with Crosshair is his plan backfiring on him, of course, and having the engine instead burn his face instead, and he got a pretty bad burn marks. So it does lead me on to some different theories here, as if we could possibly see Crosshair kind of be the one that turns into Dengar, but then I thought, and Dengar kind of appears in the Clone Wars show as well, so that's not really possible all that much, but it was a cool theory I kind of had there for a split second. And then another thing I kind of just didn't really understand all that much throughout this episode and kind of previous episodes before is, why does the Empire want the Bad Batch to be killed so badly? I understand, they're traitors and all of that, but there's other deserters out there such as Rex or Gregor and Wolf that get their inhibitor chips removed as well, but why would the Empire be directly after the Bad Batch? They're kind of keeping a low profile, much like the other clone troopers. Of course, it could be more subtle, of course, but then again, they're kind of out there and about, so it just kind of leads to the question as of why does the Empire need them dead so very badly? I know they pose a threat, of course, as well to the Empire, but if they're not bothering them, I don't understand why the Empire is going to be wanting to go after them. But then again, the Empire, they're bad guys, and bad guys are going to do bad guy things, I guess. And then at the beginning of the episode as well, we got to see this really pretty awesome scene here between Wrecker and Omega, kind of training her with the bomb and then kind of tricking her it's a smoke bomb. There's no need to be afraid of it, I guess. It's kind of cool to get those different scenes, that friendship there between Wrecker and Omega, especially after what Wrecker pulled in the last episode of Order 66 and his inhibitor chip going down and haywire and him trying to kill Omega was pretty awesome. And it's really awesome how they hyped that whole entire scene up throughout the entire season so far, and kind of just having those kind of different moments there where they're bonding over something. It's kind of nice to know that they haven't killed off those scenes quite yet and are going to keep on doing those nice little moments where they're kind of being friends and bonding over stuff. Like I had already mentioned in this whole video, I guess, is the return of Crosshair was absolutely stunning to see, awesome to see. He looks really, really awesome. I feel like more than in previous episodes, he looks way more awesome. I can't really tell if that's like the animation or what it could possibly be. He just looks so cold. He looks like he'd go off and be like a bounty hunter of some sort. Looks absolutely awesome. And furthermore, it's really interesting to see the effects of the inhibitor chip completely taking over his mind. Like I had also mentioned before, him just going full on, just burn them out of there. They're in the engine. Let's turn the engine and just burn them out of there was kind of crazy to see. And then furthermore, that the fact that the Empire is using him to kind of track down the Bad Batch rather than using him for other tactics or other missions, I guess, is kind of interesting to see as well. Rather than actually having, the Empire, I guess, use somebody else in order to track down the Bad Batch, which is interesting to see. And kind of, I guess, kind of debunks a lot of theories of, Cad Bane or Boba Fett being the ones that are tracking down the Bad Batch because they were hired from the Empire. It kind of debunks all those theories and the fact that these bounty hunters and Cad Bane, more precisely because we actually know he appears in the show there at the end of the episode, which was an amazing scene to see. I'm going to talk about that more in just a moment here, but it's really interesting to see that because these bounty hunters are kind of being either confirmed to be being hired from the Kaminoans to get Omega, is what the whole idea behind that is. So it kind of makes our theories here kind of true. I had a whole theory video on who and why do they want Omega, and it's pretty cool to see that theory come true, I guess. And then I've seen some people kind of talk about this whole, relationship, I guess, between not only Omega and Wrecker, but also that father-daughter relationship between Omega and Hunter. And then, a lot of people were pointing out, I kind of want to see what would happen if they got, separated, and that's exactly what we saw here at the end of the episode. Are we going to see Hunter go full rage mode, full beast mode here to go after his daughter, I guess, his daughter figure, I guess you could say. It, in a way, is building up a whole different character, I guess, for Hunter of what he previously was, of course, that being a soldier for the Clone Wars. So I'm kind of leaving this prediction out there, that theory out there. If I guess we're going to be kind of seeing a whole different side of Hunter, him going full savage mode, full beast mode. I think things could possibly get kind of gory here in future episodes of The Bad Batch. Of course, this episode was really hyped up by a lot of, crew members and production members that were working on the show, animators, all of them were really hyping up. You think what's going to happen in this episode, but you don't really know what's going to happen in this episode, and they're completely right about that. Let's talk here a little bit about Cad Bane appearing in the show. I already mentioned there was those theories out there of Cal from Jedi Fallen Order appearing in this episode because of Bracco, and he is on Bracco at the time of this, possibly. Of course, don't get me wrong, it would be really awesome to see the appearance of Cal, of course, but I think it's way more cooler to see the appearance of the Clone Wars bounty hunter Cad Bane, the kind of cowboy of Star Wars, to appear in the whole Bad Batch, especially in just reappearing in the Clone Wars and in the Star Wars universe. It's really awesome and puts out those theories and those predictions. And a lot of people, I had asked this, of course, on my Instagram. Do be sure you are following our Instagram, Unofficial Star Wars. It's linked in the description. I had put this out there. Do you guys think that the unfinished episodes of the Clone Wars are actually canon? Because they were never released, does that actually make them canon? And this kind of proves the point. I don't really think it makes them canon. Of not only I think the fact that, just to begin with, they're not canon because they weren't actually officially ever released and put out there, but this whole episode proves the point that they aren't actually canon. And one of those unfinished episodes, especially that one, I guess isn't really canon per se, but especially in this one right here, we see a unfinished episode of the Clone Wars. It's pretty much the same standoff there that we saw with Hunter and Cad Bane, except it's with Boba Fett and Cad Bane, and it results in the death of Cad Bane, and it shows us how Boba Fett gets the dent in his helmet that we see later on, not only in The Mandalorian, but The Empire Strikes Back as well. So it was pretty cool to kind of see that kind of be like that counter thing that makes it canon, that is kind of like the alternate thing that is kind of what is making it canon, to per se, to put it in those kind of words, I guess. Anyway, just that whole action scene there to begin with was incredible to see, and we kind of felt like we knew what was going to happen because, you know, seeing that Hunter is the good guy, we would expect him to be the one that wins, but instead it was Cad Bane, and of course he's just absolutely legendary. Absolutely love his character. I think he's absolutely amazing. And then I want to touch on one last thing here on what we could possibly see in the future episodes of The Bad Batch. We're now officially halfway through the first season of The Bad Batch, which is crazy to think about. I don't want it to go. I don't want it to end. I've been loving it so very much. But to leave you guys with one final thought here, I guess, is if we could possibly see the return of Captain Rex. I mean, it just kind of makes sense, and one thing that a lot of fans really want to see, especially by here the end of season 1. Hopefully we'll get season 2, season 3, season 4, so on and so on for the Bad Batch. I think would be absolutely incredible to see, especially for it to kind of fade on later on, to see it kind of merge into Star Wars Rebels. I think would furthermore be really, really awesome to see, and I think would be really cool to see. A lot of people want to see that return of Captain Rex and Wolf and Gregor, to see how their chips got removed as well. But then again, there's always the whole idea that they've probably already maybe removed them, and that whole process has probably already gone down in some sort of way. But it would be really interesting regardless to see it kind of happen as well. And not only that, but the whole Hasbro as well that does Black Series, the Black Series action figures, has kind of hinted at the idea of getting us a new character, I guess a new action figure here for Captain Rex in his little poncho that we see there in the Bad Batch, especially there at the beginning of the episode 7 when we actually saw him. I think would be really, really awesome. That's from some leaked box art here that we saw with Wrecker's Black Series figure as well. So I think it would be really awesome here to see the return of Captain Rex. Furthermore, kind of hints at the whole idea of him returning. I mean, why would you make a whole action figure based off of him, I guess, if he's only going to be appearing in one single episode? But then again, it's Black Series and it's Hasbro. They've always been really good about doing that type of stuff and been really open to, you know, hearing other fans, hey, we want a new Captain Rex action figure. I think it would be really awesome. And they listen to them and they do it, and it's not really per se like Lego. For all of you Lego collectors out there, they really do listen to the fans. Alright, sorry there, got a little off topic there. And then after that one, I want to leave you guys with one final kind of prediction here on what we could possibly see with Omega. Rather than that, I kind of just want to know, where do you guys think Omega is going? I think that she possibly could just be going back to Kamino for that Phase 3 clone trooper, of what she's really initially there for, what the Kaminoans have been really hinting at all along here. That's probably one of the best theories I've heard out there so far. But then again, it's a crazy Star Wars universe. Many things could possibly happen here, especially after seeing the return of Cad Bane. So guys, let me know of your thoughts and opinions down in the comment section down below. Or let me know what you guys think is going to be happening here to Omega or Omega. I would absolutely love to hear all of your thoughts and opinions down there. But that's going to do it for today's video. Thank you guys so very much for watching all the way through here. Go comment down below, Order 66 if you're still watching as of right now, and drop a like on the video if you did enjoy it, as it really does help with the channel. Hit that subscribe button and that notification bell so you don't miss any of our other future videos, and check out our Instagram, Unofficial Star Wars, for more Star Wars related content. And until next time, the Force will be with you always. Peace out.